Welcome to the Sauce and Gravy channel. This is Johnny Mac, the gravy guy. If you're anything like me, you love pizza, and there's nothing better than a homemade pizza sauce to go with it. So I'm going to walk you through how to make a pizza sauce in the Instant Pot. Round up all of your ingredients. It's pretty much a dump and go type deal. Crank up that Instant Pot, hit that saute function button. You might have to hit it a few times to reach that medium heat level. Once it's warmed up a little bit, drop in about 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of olive oil. And you know what? The great thing about making a homemade pizza sauce is you can make it to taste. You can use all of these ingredients, or you can use just a few of them. You can even add to it, whatever you like. I like garlic, so I'm going to add 4 cloves of minced garlic. Whenever the oil is hot, drop them into the pot. And I'm sure if you've cooked with the Instant Pot before, you know the center of the pot is a little bit higher than the sides, so that olive oil, it tends to pool up on the sides. Make sure that you have a spatula or a spoon, something to stir with so that you can mix that olive oil and garlic together so that the garlic doesn't burn. I like to just saute it for about 30 seconds to bring out the flavor and make it a little tender. However, if you want to brown it, go for it. Knock yourself out. Next item up to bat, canned tomatoes, 2 14.5 ounce cans. Any tomatoes will work, however, San Marzanos, those typically work best. For this recipe, I'm using whole peeled tomatoes. And I've come to really like this next ingredient. I like to add balsamic vinegar, about half of a tablespoon or 7 milliliters. It really adds a touch of flavor to the sauce. And here we go with the final stretch of the recipe. We're going to add the herbs and spices. And you know what? Like everything else for this recipe, you can add the herbs and spices that you like. They could be fresh or they could be dried. I happen to drop in about a tablespoon of dried oregano and about a teaspoon of dried sweet basil. And as always, add a dash of salt and spank in some black pepper. If you like your tomato sauce to have a touch of heat, sprinkle in some red pepper flakes. I'm going to drop in about 1/4 to 1/2 of a teaspoon. We're nearly done, and as you can see, the sauce is starting to bubble up. It's great. That warms up that Instant Pot, so whenever we use the pressure cooker function, the ingredients in the pot will already be warm, which will make the pressure cooking process a whole lot quicker. If you happen to be using whole tomatoes like I am, it's a good idea to take a flat-bottom spatula and break them up. And now it's time for the final ingredient. Some people like it, some people don't. I do, so I'm going to put it in. 2 cubes of granulated sugar. Perfect, now it's time to move on to the next step. Turn off that saute function and add the lid to the Instant Pot. Make sure that you completely close the lid. You'll also want to make sure that your steam release valve is in the closed position. To start cooking the sauce, press the pressure cooker function button. Make sure it's on high pressure and cook the sauce for 5 minutes. At this point in the cooking process, that steam release valve will release a tiny bit of steam, then it'll close and cook away. After 5 minutes, it'll start the pressure release process. I like to use the natural release, so that means that it's just going to let it naturally remove the pressure. That takes about 15 minutes. When the red float valve drops, the pressure should be gone. It's also a good idea to open up that steam release valve. You might want to use a spoon or a spatula just to make sure that you don't get burned. Give it all a quick stir and then take out the pot. You might want to use oven mitts because I can assure you it's definitely hot. Great work, so now it's time to move along to the next step of the process to make the sauce smooth. Grab a blender and drop in the sauce. There's not really anything terribly difficult with this step of the process. I mean, you're really just blending it, making it as smooth as you like. The only thing to be careful with is because the sauce is hot, that top could pop off the blender, so just make sure, depending on the blender that you have, that you do it safely. So you might want to put a tea towel on top and hold the top down. Crank that blender on and blitz away until the sauce is as smooth as you like it. That takes care of that. Nice work. So it's time to move on to the next step of the process. Time to thicken the sauce back up. So round up the Instant Pot and dump the sauce right back in. And don't worry if there's a stray tomato that didn't get blended in the Instant Pot. It never hurt anybody. Put the pot back into the Instant Pot and then hit the saute function. Cook it over medium heat, so you might have to hit that saute function button a couple times to reach the medium heat level. Bring the sauce to a simmer. You'll want to stir frequently, and once it starts to bubble and simmer, you can reduce the heat to low. To bring the temperature down to low, you'll push the saute function button a couple times until the red light indicates that it's on low temperature. Occasionally stir the sauce and cook it until it's as thick as you like. It doesn't take too long, just a few minutes. And that's all there really is to it. So that's how you use an Instant Pot to make a delicious homemade pizza sauce. And the great thing is you can use this on the spot, or you can put it in the fridge for roughly a week, or freeze it for up to 3 months. Thanks for watching the Sauce and Gravy channel. I hope that you enjoyed this recipe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel just yet, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification button to stay tuned to the latest and greatest sauce making tips and techniques. Thanks again for watching, and remember, keep whisking, y'all. Woo, now you're talking.